What's up guys, Joey Salazar here, and Trump made some comments relating to Sweden and the migrant crisis.
Who would believe this? Sweden. They took in large numbers. They're having problems like they never thought possible.
And almost immediately after those comments, the left mainstream media sought out to debunk him. And now this leaves a lot of Americans questioning who's telling the truth. Is the mainstream media telling the truth, or is Trump telling the truth, and who is lying? So I want you to join me on my journey to Sweden to find out the truth about the migrant crisis. When Trump did his speech the other day referencing the migrant crisis in Sweden, what did you think about that?
I don't know if it's true or false.
And why is that?
Because there's no proof. If you go and ask if this is true or not, there's no proof.
Meaning like you don't trust the news to tell you the truth?
Exactly.
Do you trust him to tell the truth?
Not really.
Sorry, I think Trump is so full of shit. It's ridiculous.
You think that he's lying about Sweden and it's not what he said?
I think he lies about everything that comes out of his mouth. If it serves his purpose and makes him look good, I think that's what he's after.
Mm-hmm.
So do you believe the left mainstream media when they say Trump's lying about Sweden and there's nothing wrong there?
Well, there's things wrong in every country, but whether it's what he's talking about that's wrong, you never know. There's no proof. I'm not going to believe hearsay and what he has to say.
Exactly. He has to come through. If he doesn't come through, then it's not true.
Exactly.
Can't prove it. No.
I'm with two Swedish friends that I've met down here, and they're going to be showing me around to some of the no-go zones. Now, why do they call them the no-go zones?
They're called the no-go zones because we're not supposed to go there, but it's actually because the cops aren't allowed to go there.
Why are the cops not supposed to go there?
If they go there, they get rocks thrown at them, and even missiles and grenades.
So it's just too dangerous for cops to patrol.
Exactly.
All
it's
right.
Gang controlled.
So we're going to be going into the least dangerous no-go zones and then go into the most dangerous no-go zones. What area are we in now?
Now we're in Tensta.
Tensta.
This is one of the areas you're not supposed to go to.
Is this one of the lower level no-go zones?
Yeah, I would say so.
So right now, if we get mugged, if we get attacked, there's going to be no cops to help. Nothing.
Most probably not. Now we've had issues in an area nearby, riots, and there are a lot of cops there. But in this area, it's I don't think we see any cops, and there won't be anyone helping us. And I would recommend don't bring your camera in. You go undercover if we're gonna walk around.
Yeah.
They will attack if they don't like us recording in this area.
On my bag, I equipped a small camera so we can at least get shots of what's going on without getting mugged. Okay, so this place that we were just at was just a level 1 no-go zone. It wasn't that bad. It was one person offered to sell us drugs. That was about it. Nothing out of the ordinary from what I can see. The only thing creepy about it is the fact of being in an area that you know there's no police, that you know there's no help. So if something does happen where something does go wrong, there's no one there to help you. And that's what the most worrying part of being there was. How do you feel about the migrant crisis currently in Sweden? Are you for it?
There's no migrant crisis.
You don't believe that there's a
there's
crisis?
a lot of problems, but if you can help somebody, you do.
Yeah.
And we can, so we do.
Do you think that the migrants coming here are increasing the crime rate at all?
Yeah, sure.
So you believe?
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's always going to happen.
Yeah. So you're not denying the increased crime rate in the areas with the migrants, but you.
Well, in some of the areas.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about Trump's comments referring
Trump
to Sweden?
is an asshole. He's a complete moron. He doesn't know anything about anything.
What do you think about him talking about like what happened last night in Sweden and how he's referring to a lot of the
it's obviously bullshit because there was nothing happening that night in Sweden.
What about the following night when there was massive car explosions went off?
Well, there were a few car explosions, not massive car explosions.
Yeah. Do you think the government in Sweden is handling it properly? Bringing the migrants in here by the masses, about over 100,000 a year, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're doing it properly?
Should bring more.
You think they should bring more?
Definitely.
Do you think bringing
we
more?
have space and we have money, so why not?
Do you think bringing more would cause more problems, or you think it would just stay the same, or eventually help balance out?
Well, with time it would balance out.
You think with time?
As it has
out?
all the time. The United States is made out of completely of immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty bad for a while with the war. Now it balanced out. That's what happens in every country.
Do you support how Sweden is bringing the migrants in and then just pretty much almost segregating them into their own communities, or do you think that they should try to integrate them more?
That's not exactly accurate, but it could be better.
It could be better. Just to clarify, you're for more government spending to help these people out, to bring them here?
Definitely.
You do believe that there is some kind of problem with the crime in those communities?
There's problem with crime in all communities.
Yeah.
And if you take a bunch of people and put them in a small area, that's going to increase the crime rate for a period. That's always going to happen. Yeah. You could take people in Chicago and tell that everybody who lives on an even number on the house needs to move, and then to an odd number house, and that would increase the crime rate for a while, and then it would even out.
Because you said you wanted them to bring more and more in. Do you think that's going to hurt the chances of the crime rate going down if more and more keep coming in?
I don't think it would have
a
big influence.
No. You don't think so?
No.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Is it okay if we... So now we're going to the highest level, Incubi? Rinkeby.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where the car bombs exploded, right?
Yes.
One guy eyeballing us as we were driving by, and he's been kind of spying on us. Don't know if he's going to show up again. We've been getting just looks left and right by everybody. Alright, so we're up. This is where the British camera crew was attacked in this area, right?
Yeah, right here.
Right where we're standing?
Yeah, right over here.
Right over here.
Yeah. They were forced to escape through the tunnel over there.
Wow.
As you see around us, there's people eyeballing us.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for a walk.
So they ran out through here. Yeah. They got into a car. So we actually found some char from where the car exploded. We believe it was in this area. This is the parking lot where a couple of car bombs went off. So this is the area where a few of these cars were actually burnt up, lit on fire about 3 days ago. It's already cleared out. Is just some of that charcoal that's left over that we found. We're gonna get going to the next area now. So I'm at my friend's apartment right now where there was a car explosion that happened just 100 feet away from his apartment in an area that was considered a very nice area previously. And apparently that this car that got exploded didn't even get reported. I'm going to talk to him now about it, but a big problem is almost everybody that I talk to here doesn't want to be associated with this project out of fear of public scrutiny. So they all ask me to blur their face and even try to edit their audio if necessary. This way the public of Sweden, people around Sweden, don't know it was them speaking out against the migrant crisis. And that's another big problem that in Sweden they're facing, where people can't even go and speak the truth about a situation because it's to the point where people are just bullied into silence.
Well, I was just sitting here and heard an explosion. I've never been through anything like that. I just looked out the balcony and the car was a car burning. I tried calling. I called 911 or as in Sweden you call 112, but they tell me that things like this happens. It could be a spontaneous combustion. Yeah, sure, that's.
So they were trying to cover up the explosion to be a fault with the car and nothing related to the migrant.
That's what I think they tried to do. They tried to tell me that it's something that just happens to cars. Yeah, I've never heard of that before. A car just exploding. Considering the recent events in the areas nearby, I doubt that this was an accident. Yeah, so first thing I did when I saw the car burning, I started recording and I published it on Instagram and Facebook, and I was expecting people to be worried about me, but the only thing people told me was that they were speaking up against me, against they thought it was something against immigrants. It was I was just, they hated me just for publishing this video. It seems like in Sweden nowadays you really can't speak up. You can't joke. You can't publish a video like I did. It's scary. People come against you, and it's not immigrants. It's the liberal. It's the leftists. They can't handle it.
They bully you into silencing the truth.
They really do. They bully you into being silent.
If somebody came out speaking against the migrants, what would the consequences be?
People that have been speaking up, they have lost their jobs. It's not once. It happens every day.
Now the media in Sweden, is it government run? Does the government own the media?
They are. Most newspapers are owned by larger companies, but then we have the government funded SVT, SR, controlled by the government. But in the end, it seems like they're all the same. They're controlled by the leftists. It's insane.
So what I just found out through my Swedish friends, they have a thing called phishing. And what they do is they get enough people to call the cops in to come to an area. And when the cops get enough calls, when they get so many calls, the cops do finally go into the no-go zone areas. And when they do come in, the migrants are there ready to attack. It just shows how the migrants are just so not compatible with society. In every area that these migrants get brought into, they automatically turn into slums and crime-filled areas, and it's spreading quick. So right now we're standing in the area that we believe that the riots in 2013 happened. Over 150 cars were destroyed, and it cost the city equivalent to $10 million US. It's starting to get a little bit more populated now. We're gonna start heading out. When did you come here?
I came here in '88. It was from Iran, like Iran-Iraq war, and by the time it was like barely any foreigners over here, so they let anybody in, especially if you're like a war immigrant or whatever you want to call it, because they would give you like okay, you can stay, the Swedish green card or whatever you want to call it.
You came in as part of the migrant wave in the 80s.
Yeah, me and my family and my middle brother. And I think the crime is nothing to do with migrants. It's poor people coming. There's like maybe there's poorness, you have to do some crime because if you want to feed your family, what are you going to do something, right? Whatever you, because I'm on YouTube all the time, like that's what I do. So I listen to what especially what Americans say about Swedish, and it's all bullshit, you know. If you people telling you everybody's raping everybody, no, that's not true. You have to talk to people from rough areas. I've lived in like the hood of the hoods, like the Gottsunda. That's like.
What do you think about how the government is bringing the migrants in? Do you think they're bringing in too much, not enough? Do you think they're integrating them in the wrong way? That's creating more crime.
Yeah, I guess the integration itself, like they're putting everybody maybe like in the same areas that doesn't make people integrate properly, like the way I guess Swedish people want you to be, like the mentality.
Yeah, so you think of just bringing all the people from that country here and throwing them in the same spot, it just creates chaos within the community.
Yeah, because they act like they do when they were back at their house. Like they eat what they eat, they talk like they do, they do all the traditions. And
do you think at the current rate that they're going, do you think Sweden should take in more?
Right now, I think they close the borders like. Everybody says like, let's take care of the people we got before we let more people in. That's like the.
But do you think if Sweden takes those people from those communities and tries to spread them around, do you think it would help them integrate better?
Definitely.
Or do you think it would create more,
definitely. They're too soft on people. Like maybe it's a little too easy to get welfare over here.
Trump brought a lot of attention to about Sweden, about the migrants.
Yeah. That was hilarious. Oh, shit, do we have a terrorist attack? No, there was like this accident on the Eurovision, the Swedish Eurovision, and some guy's mic like failed, and that was the big thing.
Yeah, Trump was like referring to he wasn't referring to a terrorist attack
No.
on Sweden. It got convoluted in that way. The media took it as he
Yeah,
said it
yeah.
like that, but he didn't. But then the next day,
Yeah, there was
bombs
so
went off.
many memes and around. It was hilarious
It was
because
just fake news.
yeah, it was fake news, but
And then the next day, something actually did happen in one of the no-go zones where there was car explosions.
yeah, those car things that's definitely true because I know from the areas where my parents are from, that they burned like 40 or 50 cars. Because I know everybody over there, but I asked them, my old friends, the troublemakers, like, what the hell is going on? He says, it's kids, it's either like 10-year-old kids or adults burning their cars down for insurance money, and they're blaming the kids. Yeah, and of course there's a lot of idiots that wants to lack this attention and throwing stones at firemen and police officer, and that's where you were, that Husby?
Yeah, Husby.
Yeah, that's crazy over there. I'm working close. Yeah. What if this happened when I was on my way to Sweden, like in '88, they didn't let me in? What would happen then? I would probably be dead because I was sick as hell. My mom was sick. We got the help we needed, and now because I'm here, we're gonna tell, oh no, we don't want to let anybody else here. We got enough of people. It's a huge country. We have places we have space.
Do you think about creating safe zones in the area where these migrants are coming from to make it more safe for them to stay in their country or close by?
It could be a good thing. Depends on how you want to do it. Like having the right people to.
Yeah. Instead of taking the risk of spending all the money and the possibility of bringing threat to your homeland.
Yeah.
Just keep it there and fix the problems there instead of potentially bringing them.
It's not as bad as you think. People lie, people exaggerate. It's one of the best countries in the world to live in. If there was really a problem, the government would handle it. Believe in the government is like, it's not exactly the government don't want to bankrupt the country. It's not like that.
All right, I think it's good.
All right,
I think this was good. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So right now we're heading back to Rinkeby at night. We're just gonna do drive-bys to see if we catch anything going on, just to see how the area is. Apparently this is when the gangs come out and they start doing their drug deals or any gang-related activity. So I'm gonna shut this light, we're gonna drive by and see if we see anything. I was unable to capture it because the camera is on the back of my bed. But as we were walking into the subway terminal, one of the guys jumped in our face. What did he say? You notice anything?
I was just making weird sounds.
He just jumped in front of our face, something like that. It just freaked us out. I wasn't able to get it.
Tja. Tjena. Vad gör ni för något?
Ja, hur är läget? Det är bra. Du kan knäppa loss dig.
Vad gör
Det är så vi med han som sitter i baksätet är känd ju.
Filma så mycket där inne. Ni är inte båda på Tack så mycket.
They were chasing us for drug dealing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And yeah.
So the cops thought that we were here selling drugs. Apparently, I guess there might be a few undercover cops in these no-go zones due to recent events that happened here with the car bomb. So I'm assuming that there's a slight patrol going on here. And
the cop said the last thing he said was, "Do not record anymore. You're not prepared for the consequences."
Wow.
That's what he told me. The last thing he said was, "That's exactly what he told me."
Yeah.
So like, get the fuck out of the car and everything, you know.
Yeah.
It never happens. They're always nice in Sweden.
Yeah.
These guys thought we were
They're on edge.
criminals.
So from Twitter, I met some people from these no-go zones and I was setting up interviews with them. But then somebody who knows these people reached out to me telling me to be careful because these people might rob me, so I just canceled the interview entirely. So right now we're in Tensta at night, and I believe we're gonna hit the streets with the GoPro. I'm gonna try to put a camera on the front of me now this time.
No, they're looking straight at it. One of the guys. They're looking straight at us. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out.
Okay.
Those guys just looked straight at us, glared at us.
Yeah, out the window, like, what the fuck?
They're looking at us
Yeah,
now.
look, there you go.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Out the window.
Now they're getting out of camera sight. They know what's up. Look straight at us.
So we pulled up into this area, and immediately off in the distance, from the window from the train station, there was a group of guys just looking at us, grilling us to no end. So we thought it wasn't even safe to go up there and start walking around because who knows what might happen. So we're gonna try to go around to a different area now in the same part of town and see if we can get on the road, on the street. And so right now we're on our way to Risne, and apparently there was a shooting that happened. This is one of the no-go zones. Somebody was actually shot in the face and they're still alive. And also at the same exact time in Uppsala, which is actually a nice city, somebody got shot in the foot and they found grenades. And I think right now there's actually a manhunt going on to try to find the person. So we're gonna go to the scene right now and see what's going on. So right now, currently, we're on the scene where the shooting took place. Right now, there's no crime scene anymore. There's just some cops patrolling the area. We must have got here too late. But there was a tweet from somebody who was on the scene in the area, and this tweet reads, "I'm in Risne, close to Rinkeby, in Stockholm. A guy shot in the face, very badly injured." In quotes. "This happens all the time." End quotes. Locals tell me. So apparently this happens all the time in these communities. So now this concludes my journey, and I'd like you guys to take this video and to decide what to believe. I'm giving you guys the truth from both sides of the situation. Now I'd like you to take this video and interpret it the way that you feel necessary. Let me know if you believe the migrant crisis is a problem. Let me know how you believe the migrant crisis should be handled and solutions to solve it. I'm Joey Salads, and thanks for watching.